What are some of the transformational forces underlying changes in consumer behaviour?
I think that there's three kind of main forces that we're seeing in young people, and I think these are the results of increased technology and this new sense of ethics that's been instilled in Generation Z, especially around things like sustainability. So the first one is going to be consumption has been redefined. We're moving away from this idea of possession and towards this idea of access. So Gen Zers are not only caring about what we buy, but also the way that you consume it is important to us. For us, consumption means having access to a product or service, not necessarily actually owning it. Having access to something has become the new consumption. So having unlimited access to things like car riding services, desk sharing, video streaming, even music subscriptions, gyms even, like all of these things, that still creates value for Gen Z. Even though we don't own it anymore, the access has become the way of consumption. The other thing I'm seeing is this idea of consumption as an expression of kind of identity or singularity, or however you want to say it. Which is meaning that like Generation Z, a lot of this idea of Generation Z is creating this individual identity. And it's a very hard thing to do, and it takes a lot of time, and it keeps on changing over time. But consumption has become a means of self-expression to achieve showing off that identity. We don't have these days where friend groups all wear the same thing and listen to the same music and read the same books and are all kind of copycats of each other because they're trying to fit in. Like that just doesn't really happen anymore. This idea of consuming as a way of showing singularity has become way, way more prominent nowadays. And then the final thing is this idea that consumption is also becoming anchored on ethics, and specifically this idea of like sustainability. Consumers increasingly expect brands to take a stand on issues, especially something as uniformly accepted as sustainability. So a company's actions have to match its ideals, and those ideals really have to permeate the entire like stakeholder system. Because Gen Z consumers are mostly well educated about brands, and when they're not, they know how to access information and develop a point of view quite quickly. So it's important to say it's not just about the brand itself, but also where it gets its money from. The web of shareholders, its investors that it draws out from should also be held to the same standard as a company holds itself.